welcome to Nara's Pilates for another full body Pilates workout. As always, listen to your body, don't work into pain. If you have any new injuries or anything acute, so anything that's really quite flared up, then this is probably not the best thing to do. Check with a medical professional always if you start something new. Throughout this session, I will try and give some prompts and some modifications, so listen to your body and use and change as needed, okay? So you can always drop the level. Technique is king, so always technique and then increasing the level. So don't just do something because you think it looks like it should be achievable. It's totally fine if it isn't. It's all about building stability around the joints and also strength around the joints and really thinking about that mind-body connection. Okay, so let's get started. We've got heel of the foot, arch of the foot, feet planted on the mat. Create a lovely long line from the feet, soften those knees. So if you do tend to stand like this, just soften, tuck the tailbone under, lengthen up, shoulders round, tuck the chin in, especially if you do spend a lot of time on your computers, tuck it in, up through the top of the head. So focus on the breath, deep breath in. Relaxing the shoulders into the base of the lungs. Exhale, engage. Draw that tummy in. Again, deep breath. Relax the shoulders and engage. One more like that. Okay, we're going to take the feet slightly wider than hip distance, just, so nothing too wide. We're going to do a narrow squat. Whenever you're squatting in this position, you just want to make sure that those knees don't come in. If you've got a block, you can place a block in between the knees and that will give you that little bit of reference between. So you're going to come down, inhale, exhale up, okay? It's entirely up to you, but really the main thing is that you're not doing this and you're not coming forwards. So inhale, long through the spine. It doesn't matter if you don't get very low, as long as you've got good positioning of the ankles, that the heels don't lift. Exhale, gently drawing up. Two more like this, and we're going to add on. So really just working on technique, getting into that mind-body connection. Okay, place the palms together, relax the shoulders. Inhale, squat. Okay, we're going to keep those knees nice and level. I'm going to exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale, back to center. And then gently release. Okay, again, inhale. So I want you now to focus on those knees. So if you are moving through your hips, the knee's going to drop back. So I want you to keep them locked in. It doesn't matter if you don't move very far. That's not the point. It's about starting to wake up the spine and locking those hips in. So especially if you have a tendency to have lower back issues, general weak glutes, hips, we're trying to separate the upper body from the lower body and connect between the two. So two more like this. Don't let those knees move. Good. And release, last one. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, return. Exhale. And return off. Okay, feet wider, much wider. We're going to do a lateral lunge. So this is another one where you feel like you're getting really low, but you're actually just hinging from the hips. So toes are just slightly turned out. The knee's going to go over the toe, so you're not rolling in. And the hip comes back, and you come back up. Over to the other side. The heel stays on the mat, the chest stays up. A common thing that people tend to do is this. Okay, so keep your chest up and drop it through the hips. It doesn't matter, again, if you're not going very low, that's not a problem. It's about alignment through the knee, the hip, and the ankle. And this is going to help a little bit with some of that ankle tightness. One more each side. Inhale, down, exhale up. So now we're going to add on. So we're going to come down, hold it there, just gently rest the forearm, lengthening through, and release. So, exhale, engage, engage, all the way up. Inhale, exhale. Good. Deep breath in, exhale. So we're utilising the breath as well. Again, nice. The same sort of concept, we want the hips in a certain position and we want to work the back. One more each side. Good. Last time. Nice, okay. Let's come, I'm just going to show you from the side. So we're going to balance on the left leg. The right leg's going to come behind. This knee is soft, but we're not completely flexed, but you're definitely not locking it out. Create a lift from the waist. So if you know balance is a bit of an issue for you, don't lean on the side that your supporting leg is and then wobble all over. Try and keep your body midline, and when you lift, you use, engage this part. So almost as if this is your leg that's on the floor, okay? And it takes practice. So soften the knee, lift up. We're going to place the hands behind the head. Now if that's too much, just place the hands on the hips, straighten this leg, and we're going to lift up, exhale, inhale. Now you can tap, but no weight goes into the toes, okay? So exhale, keep the knee straight, inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we are engaging the whole of the posterior chain, whilst also really working this leg that's supporting. Inhale down, exhale up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, drop the chin, no tension in the neck. 2 more. Keep it steady. Okay, lift the leg. Then we're going to just tip forward, squeeze the shoulders, don't let the back become rounded, and gently replace. So if you're tight anywhere in the posterior chain, when you lift, you're going to want to do this. So squeeze, and it doesn't matter if you don't get very far forward, that's not a problem. It's about this hamstring's got to really work. So if it's tight and weak, then it means that you may well not be able to tip forwards. And that leg here, if this hip is a little bit weak, and if it's a bit tight, you might struggle to have the leg fully back. Breathing out, inhale, just 2 more. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, inhale, and last one, good. So we're going to feel it in that leg, even though this is the leg that is working, this leg is really working. Okay, swap it over, so soften the knee, and now we take a little mental check note, what it feels like, so we're going to compare. So lifting the leg first, exhale, inhale down, squeeze those shoulder blades together, breathe out, lift, inhale, gently lower, exhale, good. 2 more, nice. Okay, so now we're going to lift that leg, and then just tilt forward, squeeze the shoulder blades, control it back down, remember you can tap it down, exhale, squeeze, lengthen through the back leg, hips are facing down towards the mat, so you're not lifting and rotating the hips. Exhale, inhale, just 2 more. Good. Last one. Feeling that leg is starting to work, and maybe balance is starting to get a little bit tired. Good. Release. Give yourself a little shake, shimmy shake. And we're going to come to the back end of the mat. So feet hip distance, lengthening through, right through the top of the head. Take a deep breath in, soften through the knees, tuck the chin in, round out the shoulders, breathing out all the way. Remember, those knees are soft, don't lock them out. Take a deep breath in at the bottom, relax the head completely. And you can either drop to the knees and walk the hands out, or just walk the hands straight out. As long as the wrists are underneath the shoulders, high plank, and then downward facing dog. So from this position, you need enough space between the hands and the feet. We are rotating through the elbows. And you can bend those knees as long as that back is your main concern, okay? So it doesn't matter if the heels are nowhere near the mat. It's all about the spine, and those legs will straighten as the posterior chain loosens off, okay? So rotate the elbows a little bit so they open through into the shoulders. That gives you a little bit of a better position from the upper back. We're going to hold it here for 4 more breaths. Head should be looking down towards the tummy. Exhale. Good. This is one of the best stretches for your posterior chain. It just gets everything in. So if you tighten your hamstrings and you feel like, oh, do you know, I just don't get anywhere with my hamstring stretches, you need to add this in to your routine. Okay, let's walk the dog. So push the left heel down, lift the right heel, and then swap it over. But you have to maintain the hip lift, okay? So if you're pretty tight, don't then just round out the shoulders to adjust. Keep that lift and move through, pushing through. From the hands, lift, 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 and push through that heel. Exhale down. Let's just do one more each side. Good. Last one. Both heels down, create that lovely lift, couple more breaths. Gently release, stretch the wrists, take the hands behind the back and roll the shoulders back. Tuck the chin in, so try not to let the chin counterbalance by jutting forwards. Tuck it in. The hands can be interlocked, draw the shoulders together and extend the elbows. If that is too much, you're going to place the hands to the base and you're just going to roll the shoulders and squeeze the shoulders, the elbows together. So there's a couple of options. If you're pretty tight across your chest or you've had any issues here, that might well be difficult. Okay, high plank. So if you're struggling, you can go into fists. We're going to have wrists underneath the shoulders, hips in line. So we're not here and we're not like this, okay? Hold it here. We're going to inhale, right knee to right elbow. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. So again, another really good exercise that targets pretty much the whole of the body. Squeeze the shoulder blades, breathe out, inhale back. So we're working hips, quads, we're working abs, and we're working upper body. We're working on a strength base around the abs, but we're also working on stability for the shoulders. Breathe out, one more each arm. Last one, hold it here, and then gently release. Stretch those wrists, give them a little shimmy shake. Now, ideally, if you've got a couple of blocks, this would be quite handy. If not, then just something that you can reach towards. It just makes it a little bit easy. So this next exercise is a little bit higher level. So don't worry if you struggle with any of the components, but it's good to know which areas are tough so then you can work towards increasing the range and increasing the strength. So we're going to have the right knee underneath, so balance on the right knee, left leg is out to the side. So if you are tight here, this is going to be difficult and you're going to want to strengthen and lengthen here. But what I don't want you to do is just jut it forward. It's more of a tilt, so you slightly curl under. And it may well still be really tight, but rather than push forwards, which is then not really, it's just going to nip the lower back, you just want to gently tuck it under. Similar with this, if you're sitting here like that position, turn the toes, facing forwards, hips coming out, okay? Hands behind the head. Inhale, we're going to exhale over, straighten the arms, inhale back. If that's nipping the lower back, don't go as far. So you breathe out, arms up, good. So again, we're working in mobility of the lower back, we're also working upper body. Just the two more. Exhale. Inhale back, engage. Good. Okay, now is where we're going to get a little bit more challenging. So if you've got blocks, grab the blocks. So again, this hip is lengthened. This leg, everything's pointing forward. We're going to take the hand up and we're going to lift. And the aim is to get the leg in line with the hip without this hip collapsing. So you don't do this, okay? Now, if that is just impossible at this point, just go to wherever you can, hold it, and come back down. Okay, so really focus on lift, 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 and lower. The higher you go, the more range you need in this hip, but also the more strength and lengthen through this hip flexor that you need. Okay, two more. Breathe out, inhale, engage. So it's a really good exercise to gauge what's happening at those hips. Coming down. The leg that's just been underneath, that right leg, is going to come out nice and straight. You're going to take the left leg over the top, hook it in, give it a little squeeze, and feel a nice stretch around the outside of the thigh into the glute. Lift up through the spine, so try not to just sink down, always thinking. So the next option is to place the elbow on the outside of the knee and look over the shoulder. If that's just not happening, keep it hooked in and look round, okay? So there's a couple of options depending on how tight you are in your back and your hips. Couple more breaths. Good, okay. We are going to place the leg that we've just had over, so this is your left leg, over, figure of 4. So the closer the foot is, the more intense the stretch is on this leg that's bent. The further away, the less intense. So it's again a nice stretch around the glutes, the piriformis, a little bit of hip rotation, external rotation. And again, push it down. So you're pushing that knee down, and if you're bringing this leg in, it's sort of increasing that stretch. Push your chest up. Breathe. Good. Couple more breaths here, and then we're going to swap it over and to the other side. And release. Okay. So again, we're taking note what it felt like on the other side, where we felt stretchy, where we felt not so stretchy. Hips forwards, hands behind the head, take a deep breath in. Exhale over, arms come up. Inhale. So remember those knees, hips and toes are facing forwards. This bottom hip is pushing forward, but it's tilted under. Exhale over, engage. Inhale, just 2 more. Good. And last one. Nice. Okay. Hand on the block or whatever you've got to hand. You're going to lift. Push that bottom hip. Remember, you don't want to collapse. If you collapse and just drop it back, don't take the leg as high. Get that technique first and then build it up. 2 more. So exhale, lift. Flex the foot. Keep the knee straight. Last one. Inhale down. Lovely. Okay, so the leg we've just had on the bottom. Left leg out. Right leg over. Give a little hug. So again, you're going to feel a stretch into the glute and round the hip. Now if you can, elbow on the outside. If not, you're just hooking it in and looking over the shoulder. Good. And then gently release. Cross the leg over. Bend the bottom leg. And again, we're noticing, is this side a little bit tighter? It is for me. So you're letting the knee push away from the body. And at the same time, you just slightly inching the bottom leg in towards the body to increase that stretch. Couple more breaths. Still maintaining the stretch through the spine, so you're pushing forward through the chest. Last one, just wherever you can, holding it there. Lovely, okay. Release, come round. Sitting up, and then down. So lying on the back, find your neutral position, so fingers together, thumbs together, diamond shape onto the pelvis, so fingertips should be flat, thumbs should be flat, and then we're going to imprint the lower back, so now the fingertips are pointing up towards the ceiling, right leg, and then left leg. Knees in line with the hips, and the lower back is connected. So we're going to lift the head, neck and shoulders, holding it there. If you need to, support the head. You're going to exhale, tap the toes down, inhale back. Exhale, tap. Inhale. So remember, the whole leg is traveling away rather than this, okay? So you're using that lever. The longer the lever, the more of a challenge it is on those abs. And if you want, you can straighten the leg, inhale back. So it's only an option. You can stay with that bent knee. Exhale, and remember, you can support the head as much as you need. If you're struggling with your neck, really try and work and focus into the abs. Relax the neck muscles. Good. One more like this. Each leg. Exhale down. Reach up and down. Exhale. Draw the tummy in. Exhale. Good. Lower back relaxed, he's on the mat. Draw the tummy in towards the spine. 3 more. Nice and little. Gentle end range crunch. Good. Hug the knees in. Take the hands out on the cross. Knees to the right, head to the left. Both shoulder blades, keep them on the mat. And then let's come over to the other side. And then gently release. Okay, let's come up in a seated position. Relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Relax the jaw. Inhale, feeling happy, healthy. Exhale, release. We've definitely worked. Deep breath. Last 10. Give yourself a round of applause. Well done. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear how you found the routine and things that you maybe struggled with, or maybe things that you were a little bit better than you thought you would be. Like I said, those exercises look like they should be really easy, but there's some common areas that the target, so hip, flexor, glute, that awful symbiotic relationship of one's tight, one's weak, or they're both a bit weak and they're both a bit tight, and it's just not good. So I would love to hear from you, and I would just say thank you for your support. If you can click like and subscribe, that would really help me grow the channel. Thank you.